disturbing and maybe even terrifying new information about one of the Americans who went to Syria to fight for ISIS and got killed in battle. Turns out, before he left to join ISIS in Syria, he worked at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Now, KMSP reporter Tom Lydon broke that story. He joins us with the very latest. Tom, thank you for joining us. And can you tell me who is this man? Where did he work?
You know, all great questions, Greta. Late this afternoon, the airport confirmed our reporting from last night and also filled in the details of that work history you're talking about. And some of the items on the resume, quite frankly, are going to cause real concern. The airport knew Abdurrahman Mohammed by his real name, Abdelfattah Ahmed. Law enforcement sources confirming we are talking about the same man who died fighting for ISIS. He worked at the airport for a decade between November 2001 and May 2011 and had access to the tarmac and planes. For most of that time, he worked fueling up the planes themselves. Most recently, though, 2010, 2011, he worked cleaning planes. Part of that job also was securing the planes, and that was for Delta Global Services, which is owned by Delta Airlines. For both jobs, he held a security clearance that is known as SITA for Secure Identification Display Area. You need an FBI background check to get that clearance, but it allows you to skip the metal detectors to get right onto the airport tarmac, and the checkpoints really involve a fairly cursory inspection of the vehicles going through. Now, we don't know under what circumstances he left his job in May of 2011. The airport says it doesn't know, and Delta won't comment except to say it's aware of our reporting and is working with local law enforcement. But, Greta, I can tell you to some extent, the chronology is going to come as a relief to law enforcement because it appears from his social media accounts he was really radicalized later than 2011 after he left the airport. It was around 2013 that his social media accounts sort of shifted from talking about women and dating. He was apparently a bit of a player with 4 wives, 9 kids, to talking about fighting and dying for Allah. It was last year that made that shift.
Tom, maybe the FBI feels a whole lot better about that, but I don't. I don't feel a whole lot better about the fact someone get an FBI check, works on the tarmac. It's a reporter who exposes it. We didn't hear this from the FBI. We didn't hear this from Delta. We didn't hear this from Minneapolis Airport. We got it from you. So, the fact that he's changed what his content of his social media doesn't make me feel a whole lot better. But I do want to know is that do we know how he got into ISIS?
No, that is still the mystery about what the recruiting level is on the ground. Obviously, I was reporting back in 2007, we broke the story about the 20 Minnesota Somalis who left to go fight for al-Shabaab. We believe that had a whole different recruiting apparatus than what we're talking about today. There were indictments for that case. We don't know exactly how the recruiting was going down. If it was people on the ground here recruiting, or if it was done mostly through social media and the internet. And Greta, you mentioned not feeling so great about this, that we didn't know that. I'll throw one other wrinkle. We didn't know about this alias until literally 2 hours ago. And with the Somali community here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, it's always a bit difficult because many of them come to this country not knowing their exact date of birth. And in fact, their date of birth lists 1/1/72, January 1st, 1972, because they don't know their birth date. And also, many of these clan names are very, very similar. And we've done stories where you can have 2 people in the jail, 2 different individuals, same name, same date of birth. It gets very, very confusing, and it appears to be confusing in this case as well.
Well, Tom, the American people, a big thanks to you for breaking this story, because chances are they're going to look a lot closer at a lot of people tonight. At least I hope they do. If this story hadn't been broken, we'd all just be getting our boarding passes and maybe locking our seats so the person in front of us couldn't recline. Who knows? Anyway, Tom, thank you.
Sure.
And well.